So can you guys introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about what you guys do?
Well, I am Baxter. This is Bryan. Together we're Bryan and Baxter. We're from Rocky Mountain Paranormal Research Society, and we do all kinds of paranormal research, like looking for evidence of ghosts, of UFOs, of aliens, of Bigfoot, chupacabras, and other stupid things like that.
Now, one difference between what most people do and what we do is we look at each one of the claims. For example, if it's a haunting, we don't go in looking to find a ghost. We go in and say, what happened to you? What experience did you have? And try and come up with explanations for it, instead of just going in and going, we know there's a ghost here and we're going to find it.
We search for the truth.
Exactly.
Sounds a lot more lofty.
So what was your coolest experience investigating?
Oh.
Cut, this interview's over. Coolest experience.
Wow.
Well, we did a great investigation in the Cave of the Winds, and that one was really nice. We got to go clear to the back of the caves, and it was very creepy. And we got to learn about something that is known as prisoner's cinema, and that is when you get really dark, your eyes start to see lights that aren't there. And I think we solved a lot of the mysteries in that cave just from that experience alone. But let me think, we've got a lot of them that were pretty darn cool.
Well, just the places we've been able to visit. Like he said, the Cave of the Winds, we've been able to go to, well, for an investigation, the Denver County Jail. And it was an active jail.
For an investigation only, yeah.
Exactly. The old Children's Hospital before they tore it down. What other wonderful locations have we been to? There have been so many.
Up in Deadwood, South Dakota, we were at the historic Bullock Hotel. That one was a lot of fun. We were given free reign up there. So it's just we've gone to a lot of really cool places, and we've been lucky enough to solve most of the mysteries just using science.
Cool. What was your scariest experience when you were investigating?
I would say, again, the Cave of the Winds.
Yeah.
Cave of the Winds. I had a Scooby-Doo moment. Yeah, you know how in Scooby-Doo they usually end up freaking out and running? Shaggy and Scooby, that's what happened to me. I was really far back in this one cave where the story was that there was this female ghost that hated men. So I went back there and I was saying some really mean things. And then all of a sudden, as I was walking back out, I felt the hair on the back of my neck rise up. And it felt like somebody was right behind me. So I ran like a little girl and almost killed one of the other investigators in the process trying to get out of there and realized there was nothing there. It was just, I freaked out. But that was many years ago. I'm much more grown up now.
No, he isn't. We have all sorts of, at the time they may seem scary moments because you can't explain something immediately, and for just a second you're like, and then you think, well, let me logically think about this, and maybe it wasn't the ghost jumping out of the closet that I thought it was.
And that's the most important thing.
It's so much fun being able to have that brief experience and then be able to explain it, or hear what people tell us and help them understand what it is.
See, there's a reason that our species was able to survive over the years. That's because when we get scared of something, we run from it. And that usually saves our lives from a big lion eating us or something.
If it was people like us, our species would have died out because we're too busy trying to figure out what it is that's trying to eat us.
Right, so we tend not to run when we probably should.
Yeah.
So I've actually heard a lot about chupacabras, and I find chupacabras one of the most interesting, kind of mythical creatures. Mythical creatures. Have you had any sort of experience with chupacabras?
Well, the case has never been solved.
That's true. Chupacabras are an interesting one because it translates roughly to goat sucker, or he who sucks on goats. So it's kind of a vampire type thing. But all the different illustrations that people have drawn from their eyewitness accounts don't match up.
They're all completely different.
Yeah, they're all different. Nobody seems to know exactly what a chupacabra looks like. So it's really hard to pinpoint exactly where the first ideas came from. But the most common...
There was an episode of Bonanza.
To tell us about the episode of Bonanza.
The original Bonanza. That just one of the natives walking through with them referred to the creature that lived there as the Chupacabra.
Wow, what year was that?
I don't want to say because I'd be lying.
Okay. That's very interesting. Did not know that. But it's normally a wild dog or a coyote that has lost its hair, and then when it dies, it doesn't look like a dog anymore as it starts to decay. And a lot of people think, oh, that must be a Chupacabra.
Yeah, I remember like there were these pictures of Chupacabras, and they just turned out to be coyotes with some sort of weird hair disease. That
Exactly. Mange.
Yeah.
Yep.
Would you consider yourselves investigators or debunkers of stuff?
We are investigators until we come across bunk, and then we it.
I'll quote Randy because it's always a great quote. You can't debunk something that isn't bunk.
Yeah.
So we can't go in and say it's not something without being able to prove it.
What do you? So speaking of Randy, what do you think of the $1 million prize from Dr. Randy?
Go ahead.
What do we think of it? Well, we've actually been a part of the $1 million challenge for several years in terms of investigation and making sure that the challengers, behave correctly and they don't try to cheat. So we really like the concept. We think it's a great idea. We think it's a great way to show that a lot of these claims people have can actually be explained by science. So we stand behind it 100%.
Yeah, I watched one of the cases on Liddy Geller, and it's pretty interesting to see how stuff went on.
Definitely.
That's how people make money, by lying about their skills.
Real quick question. What kinds of equipment do you use?
We use equipment that you would see on most television shows, things like that, for two reasons. Number one, we understand how the equipment works and we use it to document the location. And, well, number two, if we go to a location, people expect us to show up with it.
So it's electromagnetic field detectors, cameras, video cameras, thermometers, seismometers, all those kinds of things we do utilize because we want to get as much information about the location as possible.
But when we see a result we don't understand, we don't immediately go, I don't know what that was. That means it was a ghost. No, that means I don't know what it was.
Thanks for taking a couple minutes to sit down and talk with me.
Well, thank you.
You were a great interviewer.
Absolutely.
Thank you. I tried really hard to get questions that were good.
It's time to press the subscribe button. Subscribe button. Subscribe button. Subscribe. Bye, 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 bye.